Good day, everybody. Welcome to a Monday, this Monday, the beginning of the work week. It is important to recognize that in our work week, we find that what brings everything together in view of our busy schedules and our hectic lives is, of course, our faith. Faith, however, is not just another little compartment, but rather faith is that which maybe is the glue that keeps all of us together physically, emotionally, socially, intellectually, spiritually. It keeps us together. And therefore, we need to cultivate our faith each and every day. One way to do that is by way of our prayer life. But today, I want to introduce you to a particular kind of prayer, namely the Ignatian Examen. Remember, Ignatius came about at a particular time in history in which the monastic life was starting to be questioned. What Ignatius thought was we need to put the gospel into the streets. Monastic spirituality revolves around a very contemplative lifestyle in which the liturgy of hours and other liturgical practices are prayed. Truly very important. But Ignatius believed that there was another side of ministry altogether. Therefore, if his priests and brothers, namely the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, the religious order that Ignatius founded, were to be active, then they were to be likewise contemplatives in action. How was that going to happen? Well, the Examen prayer is one way in which that does happen. Ignatius believed that if his priests and brothers were going to be really crazy busy doing ministry, that somehow or another, what was needed was a pit stop in the middle of the day to think about what happened that morning, to ready oneself for the afternoon, and then to enjoy the evening. In order to do that, Ignatius outlined a particular way to do this kind of prayer. This prayer can be done in a matter of minutes. Let me outline the prayer just very briefly. And we enter into the prayer, namely the Examen, by setting the mood. We set the mood by recounting a scriptural passage, or it could be lighting a candle. It could be listening to a piece of soft music. It could be just about anything, simple as the sign of the cross, but it introduces us to prayer. The first real step in the Examen is blessings. We look at our morning hour by hour and we ask ourselves, where was God? In what way did God share with all of us his blessings? And remember, Ignatius believed that our blessings were not extraordinary, but they were ordinary, little things, simple things that we take for granted. For example, the smile of a child, or a beautiful sunrise, or going to work and just being happy that you have work. It could be a number of different things, but here was how God was going to, in every way, extend himself to us. What was your blessing that morning? Then our response to the blessing is, of course, gratitude. We say thank you because all we receive is blessing. All we receive is gift. The second step is then to maybe look hour by hour in your morning and see the way in which we possibly have turned away from the blessing or turned away from God. This is the breeding ground for sin, that choice, that decision to do evil. Where did you sin? Where did you reject another? Where did you reject God? Where did you turn away from love? Just like the blessings, this can be very subtle, to say the very least. We need to then be aware of all of that, how somehow or another the power of evil and sin still pervades our lives each and every day. And as human beings, we are, of course, inclined to sin, even though we have been baptized. Then our response is that we seek forgiveness. Another step, the third step is, what is the predominant emotion that you're feeling at this very moment? It could be joy, it could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be excitement. What is the feeling? And then what are you thinking? And then what does that tell you? Remember, our feeling life is derived from our thinking life. So, whatever feeling we are experiencing, the question becomes, what are we thinking? What does that tell us? What is God telling us? Then the fourth step is simply look at the afternoon. What awaits you in the afternoon? Maybe it is a very tense filled meeting. Maybe it is a reunion with a good friend. Maybe it is a phone call that you are anticipating. Maybe it is a round of golf, or maybe it is just the end of the day and returning to family and friends. What are you looking forward to in the afternoon? And whatever you are looking forward to, again, you allow God to bless it. You pray that God, again, be present to you. And especially if there is a particular task that is going to be rather demanding, you pray, you ask God for direction and guidance and strength. And then finally, you end it with a particular prayer. It could be an Our Father, a Hail Mary, a Glory Be, or it could be a passage from the scriptures, maybe the scripture of the day. And then you begin and you walk into the afternoon. Ignatius said this takes about 15 minutes. It is a pit stop. And therefore, if God surrounds us with his love, if God is ever present, we need to be aware of where God is and how God is working truly in each of our lives. This is just a very, very simple outline of the examen. Ignatius believed that this was extremely important, and for his priests and brothers, it was never to be dispensed. Maybe we can take that attitude as well. Obviously, you can Google the examen prayer, Ignatian examen, or whatever it may be, and see different forms in which you can pray that. The important thing is to pray it, especially at midday when we are in the midst of craziness and God awaits us, offering us his very best self for our very best selves. So, again, think about that, pray the examen, and as we begin the work week Monday and maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we can begin to play with that. Do you have to do it every day? Of course not. But I would say a good 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times a week, because again, it keeps you connected with not only the Lord, but with the church. Enjoy your day, and let us maybe pray the examen today and ready ourselves for the examen prayer tomorrow. Thank you.